Cedar Rapids, Iowa, the city of 5 seasons: winter, spring, summer, fall, and the time to enjoy them all. It's also home to dozens of different craft beer tastes, and we're going to get started trying them all on this episode of Brewed. Well, this is a pilgrimage we've been wanting to do since day one of the show. We are in the heart of the Czech Village in Cedar Rapids, and I'm here with Quinn McLean of Lion Bridge Brewing. This place, first off, is amazing. Tell me about this space that we're in.
Well, this building was the first supermarket in Cedar Rapids. It was the first place where you actually had a cart to walk around aisles. So like the walls that we put in, this was all just one big open space. It was 7,000 square feet, so we had to put some divisions in. But yeah, so it's a beautiful building from 1938, really great bones.
This was underwater at some point,
yeah,
right?
that was before. Yeah, that was before we were open. That was in 2008. So yeah, there was definitely a few feet of water in this building.
This whole Czech Village was.
Oh yeah, it was. It's a great resurgence, but it's definitely something where every year about this time we're kind of like watching the river level, and there is flood protection going in, and it's kind of like a year or two in the making still, but. Once that goes in, I think it'll be even a bigger boom.
You'll be able to sleep better at night.
A little bit better, yeah.
So tell me about this, the Czech Village. I mean, the Czechs are, per capita, the biggest beer drinkers in the world. There's a little pressure. You're going to open up a brewery in the heart of the Czech Village, the people who know the best, know the most, and are the best beer drinkers in the world. This is again, a fact. And
well,
I know what I'm talking about. A little bit of pressure here, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, I think there was definitely a need for a brewery in the Czech Village. I mean, you can't have a Czech Village without a brewery. We produce Pilsner, we produce some styles, but we're not a Czech brewery per se. We produce a ton of different beers, but yeah, it's great to.
If you got one Pilsner, you're fine.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
all you need.
Mm-hmm.
What styles do you have here? How many different beers?
Right now we've got 13 beers on tap.
Okay, wow.
Everything ranging from IPAs to Belgian beers to a Kolsch, which is a light German ale, kind of like it's a somewhat Pilsner-like.
Those Kolsches are great for hot days like this. Yeah,
totally, it's an enjoyable beer for people this time of year.
Right on. Well, I got to ask about the name.
Yeah.
Lion Bridge.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a nod to the heritage in that the lion is the symbol of Bohemia in the Czech Republic.
Right on.
And also, if you go about 200 feet that way toward the river, you'll see there's a bridge that's called the Bridge of Lions, and there's concrete lions all across the bridge. So it's kind of like so.
Because I see the lions all over town, and I'm thinking, man, Quinn is a genius at marketing. Like he's got his stuff everywhere.
Yes, exactly.
The lions were here first.
The lions were here first. We kind of just it was such an easy idea. We just kind of went with it.
How did you get started?
I'm from Cedar Rapids originally.
Right.
I moved out after high school to Colorado, went to school, and then became a brewer out there.
Was the plan to come back to Cedar Rapids at some point?
I didn't really think that far ahead, but it kind of got after the flood a few years, and I sort of saw some of the cool things that were happening in this neighborhood.
Right.
And I saw the lack of a brewery down here, and Cedar Rapids as a bigger city for Iowa hadn't really had breweries, or Des Moines was getting some in the area out there, and so it seemed like a great opportunity to come back.
And here's one thing I know about Cedar Rapids: these people like to drink.
They do. It's true. Yeah,
right. Is it Cedar Rapidians? What do you guys call yourselves?
We are the Cedar Rapidians.
Cedar Rapidians. So you went out to Fort Collins.
Yes.
Not a lot of beer drinking out there, huh?
None at all. No. I know. There's Fort Collins where I live. They've got 15 breweries in that town. It's insane.
Right.
So, it's a university town, but so many breweries, and so it was a great place to sort of
so you
learn.
Did you work there at any of the breweries?
Yeah, I worked at a brewery called the Fort Collins Brewery, but definitely had a lot of peers at all the breweries around, like Odell and New Belgium, and some of the smaller ones as well.
So you're learning there in Fort Collins. You learn your trade there, and then you decide, I'm going to come home the triumphant hero and open up my own brewery.
Something like that.
They waited for you at the border, and they carried you in on their shoulders. The prodigal son has returned. He's going to make us 13 different types of beer.
Or they started, after a while, they were like, is this guy ever going to do this?
Yeah, so this is something you've been talking about doing for a while.
Well, I moved back, and I figured the best way to actually do it is to sort of blackmail yourself into not having an option. The moment you step foot into the city, you start telling people you're going to open a brewery, then you're kind of, you blackmail yourself into having to do it.
That's awesome.
So that's I find the best way to follow through on something is to make sure that either you do it or you get shamed.
Right, so you basically put yourself in a corner.
Yeah.
Right on.
So you have to sink or swim.
I like it. So your beer, 13 different styles. Is this the only place we can get your beer?
No, actually, we are distributed sort of all across sort of Cedar Rapids, Iowa City right now, Des Moines, Ames, Ankeny in that area, and we'll also be in the Quad Cities probably in the next couple months. I would imagine I hope by September.
Right on.
We'll
So
be distributed there.
you'll be distributing. Will that be both keg and package stuff?
We
Like, can we
just
get it
do
on and off premise, as they say?
Just draft only, unless it's like a growler fill station.
I
If
see.
it's maybe a restaurant or Hy-Vee that fills growlers, then obviously they can fill
So
our
there's
beer to
no
go.
plans to bottle or can anytime soon.
Not this year, but I think next year we'll have the capacity. We're probably looking at another expansion. We just sort of tripled our capacity last year. We'll probably triple or quadruple it next year again, and that will allow us the extra volume to look at doing some like tallboy cans. I think is probably the size.
So, if this is a lame question, I forgive me, but if you had to pick one beer that you like, this is our beer. That like, if you were doing a sampling and you could only put one in for a submission, would it be the yard sale, or what's your go-to beer? What's your shift beer, Quinn?
It's a very difficult decision. I mean, I love IPAs, but I mean, some of the beers we're best known for, like the Workman's Compensation, which is our beer.
That's the name of a beer. Workman's Compensation.
So about 5 months into being open, we took a gold medal at the Great American Beer Festival,
Holy
which is
cats.
I don't know if you're aware, but it's the biggest beer competition in the world, and
Sure.
definitely in the United States. And so it won best example of an English mild.
Gold medal right out the
in the
bat.
country.
Wow.
So yeah, and then the following. That's probably my go-to. The following year, we took another gold medal for our porter, the Disaster at Mew, which is named after a beer flood in London from 1814. That's a great beer too. But I guess the Workman's Comp is probably my would be my desert island beer of ours.
That beer flood you're talking about.
The reports say it was like a 14-foot wall of beer going through the streets.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty nuts.
That's again.
Yeah.
If you gotta go, nothing like, but no flooding happening here, and certainly no beer floods.
Thankfully not, and hopefully we'll get the flood protection in, and I think there'll be a whole new round of boom as far as business growth and housing down here, which will be great.
Right on. Well, again, as I said, this place is just fantastic.
Cool.
It's Lion Bridge Brewery in the Czech Village in Cedar Rapids, and man, I can't wait to try your stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait to have you try it.
Right on. Well, gold medals sure sound fancy and all, but can you pass the Brewed test?
That's the question. That's the ultimate honor.
This is, again, Workman's Compensation. We'll just see about this gold medal beer. Oh yeah, no, that should win. That should win a platinum medal.
It should.
Tell me what's going on here.
So this is a style called an English mild. It's a dark mild, so as you can see, it's darker, but it's 4.2% alcohol. So on the lower end of the craft beer spectrum for alcohol content. It has some chocolate character.
You really could climb a ladder after having one of these.
Yeah, but the idea is that it's a beer. A lot of times people can get a little scared of a dark beer, or people who maybe not really initiated into craft beer. But this one is like pretty light, dry, easy drinking. A lot of people associate dark beer with super thick and viscous, but this one is not. And so it's like a really nice beer. Very easy drinking beer. So.
English mild.
Yeah.
So like you'll pour this for somebody and they'll go, oh, I didn't realize it was that dark. I don't want it. And you tell them just try it.
Yeah. That's kind of the fun thing about going to festivals or tastings. You're like, hey, this is free. Just give it a go.
Yeah, and that's another thing.
Yeah.
Quit complaining about the free beer.
If you don't like it, you can dump it. You're not offending me.
I'm glad you said it, Quinn. I'm glad you said it. Well, this is delicious, and all the beer here is just terrific.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a must visit in the Czech Village. Quinn, thanks so much for showing us around here at Lion Bridge Brewing Company. Just an outstanding place with delicious beer. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you for coming down.
Na zdravé.
Yeah, cheers.
Coming up, the new brews in town. How this place is helping revitalize flood-damaged parts of the city.